This morning when my husband made his espresso, he meant to do it over ice and then he didn't, and he was like, hey, I have this extra shot of espresso, do you want it in your cappuccino? And I was like, sure, put it in there. And now I've had like way too much caffeine in a short period of time, which is actually saying a lot for me because I have really high caffeine tolerance, but we're gonna whiz through these. I'm sharing 20 Amazon gadgets that I found in 2023 that I absolutely love. Okay, number one is the EasyOff Jar Opener. I honestly feel like every house in the early 90s had one of these, and I don't know why we stopped installing them in new houses, but wow, these are the best. You can literally attach it to the underneath of your cabinet and then use it to open all of the jars. Any of the jars. I love how it says on here that it's perfect if you have like arthritis. I don't have arthritis, but I still can't open bottles like half of the time. Who is closing then, the Hulk? All I'm saying is there is a reason that this product has a 4.7 star review on Amazon. You don't even know it's there, and then when you end up with that jar that you cannot open, and it becomes this like game of who's stronger, your husband or you, and then he tries and he can't open it, and then he hands it back to you, and you finally get it open, and he's like, I loosened it for you. No, you didn't. I did it. I didn't do it. The EasyOff did it, because this thing is so great. Okay, next up is this garlic opener. I've seen this gadget before, but I never tried it. This is like a little tube. You put the garlic inside, and then you just roll it, and it helps to remove the paper of the garlic. It's genius. This is so smart. And now I can enjoy the garlic that I love. My husband maybe doesn't love it as much because he already thinks I put too much garlic and stuff. There is always at least 3 or 4, at least bulbs of garlic in my house because I love it. Okay, next up are these night light wall sconces. Not only are they adorable, I think they look very sort of sleek and modern, but they are motion censored, so you can add them to a closet, to a bathroom, to a hallway, and they turn on when you enter the space, which is so smart. If you don't want them to be motion activated, you can just turn them off so that they just like turn on when you want them to turn on. They charge by USB, so you do not need to hook them up. They don't need to be like, you don't need to call an electrician to come hook these bad boys up. You can actually just attach them to the wall with an adhesive pad, so renter friendly. But here's the crazy part, then the light removes. You can pull it off of the sconce and it's like a little night light. I love this especially for closets because it lights up the space when you open the door, but sometimes closets still just have like little dark corners, so you can just grab it and sort of look around where you need to go, but also great in hallways or in bathrooms if you lose power, because like I said, this thing is, you charge it. Okay, next up is this like pickle olive jar thing, because what's the problem with pickles, olives, pickled jalapenos is that there's all the juice, all the vinegar that's in the jar, and you're sticking your hand down into the jar to like get it out, and that's gross. So this thing, you flip it one way and all of your pickles or olives or whatever are submersed in the liquid, and then when you are ready to use it and you want to remove one of the items, you just flip it upside down and the liquid drains into this well in the bottom, and then you can fish out whatever you need without like getting juice everywhere and getting your hands all disgusting and gross. These things are so cool, and I'm not gonna lie, when I bought them, I got a 2-pack. It's like currently I think a 2-pack is about $40, and I was like, $20 for a jar? I don't know, that seems crazy. No. Worth it. I love these things so much. I'm sorry, what a brilliant invention. Next up is the lemon press that I am so obsessed with. Okay, first of all, this lemon press folds flat. That's right, folds flat. So it's not gonna be getting stuck every time you're trying to open your drawer, which is so annoying. That in itself is a selling factor to me, but it's also one of the best lemon presses that I have ever used. It's got this sort of triangle shape, and then when you squeeze, I feel like I get all of the lemon juice out, or if I'm doing a lime or whatever, I get all of it out, where I feel like some other lemon presses, like the traditional round ones, sometimes there's still like juice left in there. Next product that I discovered this year that I have to tell you about, that I have told you about in the past, but I'm gonna tell you about it again, and that is the Catchy. I hate fruit flies. I hate them, and yet here they are always. I can have no fruit. I can have all the fruit is in the fridge. Everything is off the counter. Somehow there's a fruit fly. Just what are you doing? Get out of here. So what's the Catchy? This is like a little fruit fly trapper. But the best way to do this is to run it overnight because it has a little blue like UV light in it that attracts the bugs. When they come to the little light, there's a fan. So the bugs get sucked into the fan, they go down into the little Catchy, and there's a sticky pad at the bottom that they get stuck to. No more fruit flies. The most effective way to get rid of fruit flies. And I have tried a lot of the ways. Okay, one more product that I have talked about in the past, but I will continue to talk about, and that is my meter. My meter is a smart meat thermometer, okay? This also makes a really, really good gift because it comes in this really nice little wooden box that actually charges it. This bad boy connects to an app on your phone. When you're ready to cook something, you open up the app, you tell it what you're cooking, and you're like, I'm cooking a whole chicken or a pork or whatever. And then it will tell you, okay, great, you need to cook it to this temperature. Then it will tell you exactly how to insert the thermometer into that particular piece of meat to get the most accurate measurement, and then it just goes right into the fridge. Into the fridge. Do not cook your meat in the fridge. Then it goes right into the oven, and the app will connect to the meter. It will tell you, okay, great, your oven is this temperature. Right now the internal temperature of your meat is this. And then after a few minutes, it will calculate an estimated cooking time for you. Amazing. Literally amazing. I love that it takes all the guesswork out of it. So not only is it like, great, you have this kind of meat, this is where you should put the thermometer, this is the temperature you could cook it for, but also then it's like, great, your meat will be done in 28 minutes or in an hour or whatever, because this is great if you are hosting or you're coordinating some dinner, because now you know exactly when the meat is gonna be done. I love this thing. Okay, this next little gadget I shared in a cleaning video recently, but this is a box cutter. It's magnetic, so it just sits right on your fridge. The little box cutter piece pops open when you are ready to open a box, but I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not sharp enough that it's going to cut you. Like, you can run your finger across this and it won't cut you. You don't have to worry about your child getting it and cutting themselves. But somehow it cuts through all different tapes and all different packaging things so that you can open up all your boxes, you can get what's inside, you can break them down with ease. So it's like a sharpless box cutter that's somehow still sharp enough to open boxes. I'm not really sure how it works, but wow, do I love this thing. This next product is a product for kids, and I have to share it, but I feel like I have to have a small disclaimer before. Let me just tell you what it is first. Okay, so it is this giant inflatable rocker. Okay, it looks like Saturn. My kids call it inflatable Saturn. It's got these little handles on it, and the kids just rock around on it. My kids love this thing, but anyways, I feel like there should be some disclaimer here, because I do understand that this is a product that if your kids are wild and they're like rocking around on it, kids could probably hurt themselves on it. I'm always like a little hesitant to recommend it for that. This is a toy, especially if you have like slightly younger kids, that you need to be, parental supervision is required and suggest. I climb on it with my kids and play on it because it is a lot of fun. But holy guacamole, do my children love this toy so much. When my kids get home from school, they're usually like a little like some pent up energy is not the right word, but just like, you know, they've been like on their best behavior all day at school, as parents know. And usually when they get home, that's sort of like, they have like usually some stuff they gotta get out. We like to be outside for like a good half hour and just sort of like get a chance to be a little bit wild or whatever. And this is like the best. It's just like gets out those like big movements. They can jump around on it. I love this thing so much. Next up is this mini vacuum. There are a couple mini vacuums you can get on Amazon. I've tried a couple of them. But a mini vacuum is one of those things that like until you have one, you don't really realize how great it is. I mean, how many vacuums does one person need? Apparently a couple. So I have a full-size vacuum, right? And then I have a dust buster. I got my first dust buster like 3 years ago and I was like, wow, why did I live my life for so long without a little dust buster? And then I graduated. It doesn't feel like graduating because it's a mini vacuum, but it is. I graduated to also adding a small mini vacuum to my arsenal, and it's great because it just gets into like little things that other vacuums can't. I'm talking about like the little corners of your drawers, you're cleaning around your desk. It gets into like the really tiny little nooks and crannies, and I love that it's tiny because you can literally keep it, like you could keep one in your car in the glove box. I keep one in the drawer of my kitchen for like all the little tiny messes in the kitchen. I'm just saying, if you've gone from regular vacuum to dust buster, it may be time to graduate to a mini vacuum too. Next up is my phone lock box. I'm very conscious of my phone use, especially around my children. It is so easy. Our phones are so addictive. Our phones are so addictive. We are all probably on some level addicted to our phones. We do need our phones. I mean, maybe we don't need them. I'm using that word lightly, but you know, there is utility in our phone, but because they are addictive, we often find ourselves sometimes just picking them up even when we don't necessarily need them. And so something that I do is I actually will lock up my phone in this lockbox. I usually lock it up every night between 4 and 6. When I've been really good about locking it up every single night, I find after a week or two I don't even need to lock it up anymore because I've sort of dropped the habit of picking it up. So like whenever I find that I'm getting into the habit of using it too much, that's when I start locking it up again. This phone lockbox, the way that it works is your phone goes right inside. You set it for whatever amount of time you want, 10 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, whatever. You close it, you lock it, and then you can't get to your phone until it unlocks. I will answer a few FAQs about it because I know you're going to ask. One, what if somebody calls you and you need to answer it? Actually, this lockbox has like a little piece on the bottom, so you could swipe still to answer your phone if you need to. The other question I always get is like, what if there's an emergency? So I also have an Apple Watch. So like if there were an emergency, I can always make a phone call or send a text on my Apple Watch. There also is a function inside of this that allows you to like emergency open it. As a society, we should all try to use our phones a little bit less, which is saying a lot considering my entire business is basically on the internet and I need you to look at your phone in order for my business to work. I think we're all on our phones too much, and I think we should all actively try to be on them a little bit less, myself included. I am in this pool. I am constantly working on being on my phone less. Next up is this fruit veggie quarterer. I don't know why I waited until a third kid to get one of these. So good. You just can put in carrots, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, and it's gonna quarter them for you. I have been quartering all of my kids' grapes by hand for 5 years. It was one of those products that you see it and you're like, okay, that's fine, but like, do I really need a veggie fruit quarter? I did. I need it. Now that I have it, we use it all the time. I literally use it to quarter basically anything that is a choking hazard for my kids. Okay, Teletie's hair clip. This is kind of a random gadget, but it is my favorite claw clip for hair. I think it's designed as like a claw clip for like all types of hair or whatever. I have quite a bit of hair. It's not quite as thick as it was before I had children. Rest in peace, my super thick hair. I still have a lot of it and it is still fairly thick. So a lot of claw clips do not hold it up. I love the Teletie's because it holds up the hair so much more than any other hair claw clips that I have used. All right, my friends, that does it for my Amazon gadgets that I have been loving for 2023. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video. I realized when I said remember to be kind to yourself and others just now, it felt a little bit like a threat. I didn't mean it like a threat. I truly want you to be kind to yourself and to others as well. As we put kindness out, we will get kindness back. Okay,